Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation news fans. The Bachelor, but several signs hinted at their unraveling engagement. It was hard not to notice that Grant hadn't posted about Juliana on Instagram for several long weeks prior, an unusual silence for a newly engaged couple. Their plans for a grand destination wedding in Italy and moving to Boston together seemed ambitious, but Juliana's insistence on a second proposal, revealed on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, hinted at unresolved doubts about their commitment. These and other clues suggested their bond wasn't on solid ground. Further signs of trouble emerged from their differing emotional connections during the show. Grant's strong feelings for runner-up Ligia Gare, whom he told he loved, created tension, with fans speculating he was torn. Juliana's reserved demeanor and the lack of immediate emotional depth in their connection, as noted in reports, may have foreshadowed compatibility issues. It was hard not to notice that the Bachelor Season 29 couple weren't as into each other as some past Bachelor Nation duos, which led to skepticism about their longevity. Despite their mutual respect, the breakup revealed underlying cracks that were evident to observant viewers. Grant never seemed sure about his decisions. Grant seemed decisive during the Bachelor Season 29 premiere. He quickly identified the winner of his first impression rose and seemed to know exactly what he was looking for. It wasn't long before it all started to unravel. Grant changed his mind wildly from one day to the next. As the season progressed, he often sent home his favorites, while keeping women he barely seemed to notice. He said he was looking for a wife, but his behavior said otherwise. The season opened with Grant giving his first impression rose and a solo date to Alex Good, 28. The two really seemed to connect on a deeper level, but then he turned around and forgot about her for the rest of the season. 31-year-old contestant Dana Lupancu seemed to be his favorite until her hometown date didn't go perfectly. Unlike his other relationships, his relationship with Juliana was more of a slow burn. They didn't seem to connect until much later in the season, and it was unexpected. Things got even worse during the Bachelor Season 29 finale. Grant's runner-up, 31-year-old Ligia Gare, told host Jesse Palmer that Grant led her to believe he was going to pick her. She even alleges Grant told her he wanted to end the season early because he was so sure she was his person. Grant responded to her allegations in an exclusive with Us Weekly. "But I let her speak her truth and her piece," Grant said. Grant and Juliana were rarely together post-engagement. Things seemed to be going well when Grant announced he'd be moving to Boston to be with Juliana. Before joining the cast of The Bachelorette Season 21 and The Bachelor Season 29, Grant lived in Houston, Texas, but he realized her relationship with her close-knit family would make it difficult for her to leave New England. Though he decided to keep his Houston home, him moving seemed to be a great sign. After that, the two were rarely spotted together, even though Grant made multiple public appearances. Though Grant has been posting to social media regularly, his last Instagram post about Juliana was at the end of April. Nonetheless, the photos he shared didn't seem recent. It's in stark contrast to two recent Bachelor Nation couples. The Bachelor Season 28's Joey Graziadí and Kelsey Anderson are always posting about their relationship, as are Joan Vassos and Chalk Chapel from the Golden Bachelorette Season 1. Grant and Juliana dealt with drama since the moment they got engaged on The Bachelor Season 29, but they held out hope until the very end. The couple recently appeared on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, where Juliana revealed that they won't be getting married unless Grant proposes again. She clarified that she doesn't need another ring, just another proposal. It seemed like a bad sign that they were already talking about a second proposal, with the first one still so fresh. Grant and Juliana aren't the Bachelor franchise's only recent failed couple. Jerry Turner and Theresa Nist got married at the end of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, but divorced after only 3 months. Jen Tran and Devin Strader split up before the Bachelorette Season 21 finale aired, making for an uncomfortable reunion. The Golden Bachelorette Season 1 ended with an engagement between Joan Vassos and Chalk Chappell, but they appear to have no interest in getting married anytime soon. With all the recent failed Bachelor relationships, it's up to Joey Graziadei and Kelsey Anderson from The Bachelor Season 28 to prove that the show still works. Joey and Kelsey got engaged at the end of The Bachelor Season 28, and they've been happy ever since. They're one of the franchise's best couples, and their summer 2026 wedding could save
Ellis
the Bachelor
got down
brand. On one knee during The Bachelor Season 29 finale and slid that sparkling Neil Lane ring onto Juliana Pasquarosa's finger. Bachelor Nation erupted in cheers. He had chosen her. He had finally made his choice. The world was watching two impossibly good-looking people step into their happily ever after. But behind those curated Instagram posts, late-night interviews, and couples' TikTok dances, something was off. You could see it in their eyes, a producer revealed in a post-season tell-all that would later go viral. Grant was trying too hard, and Juliana, she was already half gone. The glow of their engagement faded faster than anyone expected. And in hindsight, the signs had been there all along. The red carpet revelation. Their first major public appearance after the finale aired was the People's Choice Awards. Dressed to kill, Juliana rocked a silver backless gown while Grant donned a sleek velvet tux. On the surface, everything screamed power couple, but eagle-eyed fans noticed something troubling. Why is he looking at her like he's unsure? One viewer commented on a viral video of their red carpet appearance. She looks like she's posing solo. Body language experts later dissected the footage. Grant's hand often hovered awkwardly behind her back instead of resting on her waist. He hesitated before kissing her cheek during photo ops, and during their Access Hollywood interview, he called her Juliana Pasquarosa instead of my fiancé. One awkward moment became a floodgate. I just remember watching that interview and thinking, he's already emotionally checked out, said a fan on Reddit. The Instagram distance. For a while, their social media pages were synced, matching couple photos, gushing captions, vacation vlogs. But then it changed. Juliana began posting more solo content. First, it was fashion reels from her clothing label. Then, cryptic quotes about independence and self-love. Not everyone gets to keep your light forever. Sometimes you glow just enough to find your own way. Juliana's post, April 3rd. Grant, on the other hand, went quiet. His page shifted toward gym content, boys' nights out, and oddly philosophical captions. You can't love someone into staying. They either stay or they don't. Grant's post, April 8th. The comments were flooded with concern. Are y'all good? Where's Juliana? Not the breakup captions already. But neither of them replied. Carolina Quixano's cryptic clapback. Enter Carolina Quixano, the runner-up, and the woman many fans believed should have won. On an unfiltered podcast appearance titled After the Final Cut, Carolina was asked whether she thought Grant and Juliana would last. Her smirk said it all. I think they're very performative, she said. There's love and then there's compatibility. I don't think they had both. Juliana fired back with an Instagram story filled with lipstick-kissed emojis and a quote that read, "Jealousy is a disease. Get well soon." But fans weren't buying it. If Juliana was truly unbothered, why was she responding? Why was she so bothered? The Bachelor T accounts exploded. Hashtag Team Carolina is thriving right now, one account posted. Did Juliana just admit Grant isn't her person without saying it? The family fallout. One of the more explosive signs came when Juliana visited Grant's family in Colorado. What was supposed to be a cozy long weekend turned into a PR disaster. Photos leaked of Juliana and Grant's sister, Dana Ellis, clearly arguing in a ski lodge parking lot. Dana, wrapped in a puffer coat and visibly frustrated, pointed a finger toward Juliana, who turned her back and walked off. A week later, Dana liked a tweet that read, "Sometimes your brother chooses the wrong woman and all you can do is watch." That tweet was shared over 15,000 times. Juliana went on a social media hiatus for 5 days. When she returned, she unfollowed Dana and removed nearly every post with Grant's family. "I don't need everyone to love me," Juliana wrote in a comment. "I just need the right people to respect me." But respect was dwindling, from fans, from family, and from Grant. A couch, a call, and a confession. Rumors escalated when an anonymous source leaked a supposed voice memo Grant had sent to his best friend Matt, describing his doubts. "I think we rushed into this. I thought choosing her would solve everything. But it's like, we're not even friends anymore." He also allegedly said, "She's more in love with the idea of being the Bachelor winner than being with me." Juliana never confirmed or denied the memo's authenticity, but just days later, she appeared on a panel discussion at a women's empowerment event and said this: "Sometimes we attach ourselves to people who reflect our ambition, not our affection. I learned that the hard way." The Bachelor Nation was convinced. The breakup clock was ticking. The 1-year curse. A shocking number of Bachelor couples don't make it past the 1-year mark. And Juliana and Grant were rapidly approaching their 12-month anniversary. To celebrate, they did nothing. No joint post, no interview, not even a comment. When asked by News if they had anything special planned, Juliana's response was swift and telling. "Anniversaries are for people who still know what they're celebrating." The room fell silent. The final straw. The last straw wasn't a fight. It wasn't cheating. It wasn't even a public scandal. It was a quiet unfollow. Juliana unfollowed Grant at 3:07 a.m. on a Sunday. Grant removed every trace of her from his page by noon. No official statement, no joint announcement, just silence. But silence speaks volumes. By evening, Grant posted a video of himself hiking solo captioned, "Sometimes you have to climb alone to find clarity." Juliana, hours later, posted a mirror selfie with her hand, very clearly missing that ring. Back to me. The public breakup that wasn't. What followed was unlike any Bachelor breakup before it. There was no People exclusive. No Good Morning America interview. No podcast confession. Just a series of online breadcrumbs, passive-aggressive comments, and a collective understanding that the fairy tale had ended. "Fans deserve closure," one headline read. But in a rare Instagram Live, Juliana summed it up best. "Closure is a myth. Sometimes you just move forward. And that's your answer." Grant never went live. He didn't have to. His silence screamed everything Juliana had been whispering for months. What we missed all along. Looking back, the signs were obvious. Inconsistent eye contact in post-show interviews. Different life goals. She wanted a fashion empire. He wanted to settle down off camera. Tense family dynamics that were never fully addressed. Social media red flags, including cryptic quotes, solo posts, and passive captions. Emotional disconnect in public appearances. Some say they tried. Others say they faked it from the start. But the truth? They weren't compatible beyond the cameras. The pressure of public love, the chaos of clout, and the weight of an engagement ring that came too soon, it all collapsed. Where are they now? Juliana Pasquarosa is thriving. She launched her fashion brand Pasqua Studios and recently walked at New York Fashion Week. She's been linked to a European DJ and says she's in no rush for another ring. Grant Ellis moved to Austin, started a podcast titled Roses and Regrets, and is focusing on mental health advocacy. He remains single and, when asked about Juliana, says only this: "Some stories are meant to be short but beautiful." The end, or a new beginning. As The Bachelor gears up for season 30, fans can't help but wonder, will Juliana ever return for Bachelor in Paradise? Will Grant reappear as a mentor? Or will this just be the chapter we all reread when another couple breaks up and the warning signs feel all too familiar? Either way, one thing is clear. The rose wilted, but the story, that'll bloom forever.